Polygamy in the Bible, Chapter 1. This is copyrighted material. Please feel free to copy, but only in its entirety and for educational purposes only. Polygamy. In the Bible, the gospel hath neither recalled, nor forbid, what was permitted in the law of Moses with respect to marriage. Jesus Christ has not changed the external economy, but added justice only, and life everlasting for reward. Martin Luther. By Ogden Kraut. Acknowledgement. The author expresses special appreciation to Eskil Peterson, Hal Jensen, Ron Barron, and Roy Potter for their contributions toward the completion and publication of this book. Preface. Polygamy. The word itself strikes like a thunderbolt. Our modern society has divested its thinking and morals so far from this ancient practice, that this type of marriage is commonly thought to be sinful or unlawful. Yet, in biblical times, polygamy was considered a part of the marriage union. For thousands of years it was taught and lived by many of the ancient prophets and patriarchs. Simply said, God and the Bible approved of polygamy. However, today most ministers and theologians either avoid or cover up this God-approved marriage principle. It is difficult to understand why so many of the modern priestcrafters take such devious methods to throw a veil over this Bible doctrine, and it is for this reason that our contemporary society neither understands, nor wants to inquire into that honorable marriage law. God has never forbidden plural marriage. And that is the plain and simple fact of biblical history. It is time to expose the artificial scab of falsehood that covers the sanctity of polygamy, and it is for that reason this book was written. The author. 5. Chapter 1. Introduction. Plural marriage is a principle believed in and sanctioned by more people on earth than by those who believe in monogamy or celibacy. In fact, the one-wife system of marriage is principally confined to some of the nations of Europe and the Americas. Most historians agree that the larger portion of the world's inhabitants believe polygamy to be a practical and acceptable part of marriage. But, isn't such a system of marriage degrading to women? On the contrary, it is because of plural marriage that a woman is offered a broader choice of husbands, providing her with a better chance to improve religiously, emotionally, and perhaps financially. It is under the contracted principle of forced monogamy that women are denied many privileges. Women today talk about liberation and their freedom, but there is no other principle of marriage that offers her as much freedom and independence which she both wants and needs. Plural marriage is a simple, wholesome opportunity for women to gain the privileges of a family and a good husband. The broad selection from all men instead of a few is available for her, rather than some single leftovers. 6. If the women of today could revive this principle of marriage from out of the prejudice, misunderstanding, and selfishness that surround it, it would be the means of removing from our society some of its worst evils. Our monogamous marriage system has reduced too many women to a life of loneliness, ill repute, and degradation. Surely women are meant to be given an opportunity for the better things of life rather than the worst. Polygamy offers them that choice, but the practice of plural marriage should always be a matter of personal conviction. Also, a man should know in his own mind if he is capable of assuming the responsibilities that accompany such a marriage. But more important, he should obtain the necessary wisdom and inspiration to live it honorably. His life should reflect stability, not just to the outside world, but more particularly to his wives and children. Plural marriage should always be considered a holy principle, and a man should enter it only with the kind of effort and desire that result in a good marriage. Polygamy is certainly not a guarantee for successful marriage. Conversely, it will expose and manifest every weakness in both the men and women who enter into it. For these reasons, it should be a careful consideration, not only as a religious belief, but for a practical and fruitful marriage. Let it be clearly understood that every man and woman should live their lives according to the dictates of their conscience, whether it be celibacy, monogamy, or plural marriage. In any of these situations, man is always accountable to his conscience and his Creator. 7. Certainly domestic government is the first order to all social organization. It is even the root of all civil government, for if the character and effectiveness of civil government is bad, then family government is probably a contributing factor for its failure. Family order or disorder is the superstructure upon which every society is elevated or destroyed. If marriage in society is without respect, purity or value, then this will be reflected in society's social and civil government. Paternalism is the natural order of all life, for everything seeks to reproduce itself. Every flying, walking, swimming or creeping creature is motivated by nature to continue its species, and it will be discovered that the stronger or healthier portions of these various male species usually seek a polygamous relationship with the females. Even mankind uses the healthy, the stronger or selected strains of breeding to raise better quality cattle, horses, and even their dogs and cats. Strangely enough, they often fail to consider this principle for their own offspring. It is this failure that has created a society filled with unmarried, unwanted or prostituted females. This is a crime against the natural desires of women, for they should have the right and opportunity to have a home and a happy family life. God is justifiably ashamed of the contracted bigots who are so prejudiced against his marriage laws. He does not long tolerate any man, no matter how high or holy his position, to transgress or oppose these laws. Even the kings of ancient Israel, who disgraced these laws, had to forfeit their wives, children and thrones. 8. Our modern society is also taking a similar course of opposition and contention against those Bible marriage laws of God. Notable cities such as New York, San Francisco, Hollywood, London, Rome and indeed every major city has become so corrupt that they are a stink in the nostrils of the Almighty. They have become modern Sodoms and Gomorrahs. For these reasons, if we do not take corrective measures immediately and turn ourselves back upon an honorable course, we will destroy ourselves or be destroyed. The only possible solution to correcting our present evils is to again put into practice the laws and principles of marriage, which are clearly established in the Bible.